Hello, I'm Alessandro, and today I want to talk about the Sony A7C and why I think it's one of the best cameras out there for photography, even in 2021 and 2022. I recently got my Sony A74 and I was expecting to sell my Sony A7C as soon as I got the new camera. But there are some reasons why my Sony A74 couldn't replace my Sony A7C, at least not completely. I got this camera around a year ago and it has been great in many ways, especially in photography. The performance you get is amazing, especially considering the form factor, which is really small. In any kind of situations, from landscape, astrophotography, street photography, portrait, the picture quality has been great in any kind of situations, which I love it. I really love this camera. Most of my best photos are in the Sony A7C, and the main reason is that the form factor is so small that there are no reasons for me not to put it in my backpack, not to put it in my slim bag and take it with me with a small lens and just get a picture that I wasn't expecting to get. And that is the magic of the Sony A7C and these new full-frame cameras, which are really small. I realized that I wanted to upgrade to the Sony A7 IV because I wanted to get into a more professional look in video, especially getting the 10 bits for the SLOG 3 in the Sony A7 IV, getting the S-Cineton, and also getting all the custom buttons and dials that I really wanted to get, that I was lacking in the Sony A7C. But then recently I realized something that not many people is talking about, and that's the low light performance in the Sony A7 IV. I know the Sony A7 IV has a higher megapixel sensor of 33 megapixels against the Sony A7C and Sony A7 III, which is 24, and it's normal that in higher megapixel sensors you lose a bit of picture quality and performance in low light. But I was expecting the Sony A7 IV to be at least at the same level of the Sony A7 III and the Sony A7C, but unfortunately this didn't happen. When I was editing my pictures, I realized, especially in astrophotography, that there is a significant amount of noise and lack of details in the shadows in the Sony A7 IV. You can see in these two pictures, taken at the same time with the same lenses and same situation, that there is a lack of detail in the shadows in the Sony A7 IV, and the highlights, they just don't look as clean as the Sony A7C. And this is very disappointing because I was expecting my Sony A7 IV to outperform my Sony A7C in every way. For that reason, there are some situations that I will prefer taking my Sony A7C than my Sony A7 IV, and one of them is low light. I know the picture quality I will get in the Sony A7C during low light, it will be better than the Sony A7 IV. It's just the feeling you get and the picture quality I want to get in low light, I will just get in the Sony A7C. And that's quite disappointing, but actually a good point for this little camera. If you are planning to get it, it will be great for you. But there is also downsides to the Sony A7C, as everyone knows, is the grip. The form factor actually makes the camera so small that holding the camera for long periods of time become a bit uncomfortable, especially when you are doing maybe portraits or when you are doing street photography. It will feel not right when you are holding the camera for long periods of time. Also, the lack of the EVF, because I never use this EVF, it will be quite basically useless. And well, also we are using here the old menu of the Sony A7 III, which everyone knows is not the best, especially when you compare it to the new cameras like the Sony A7 IV, the A1 or the Sony A7S III. Other than that, in terms of performance, picture quality and video quality, if you really want to get into Sony alpha cameras, I would say Sony A7C will be a great choice. Nowadays you can get it in second hand because many people is upgrading to the Sony A7 IV, and also you get some discounts even when getting this camera brand new. So the price you get for this camera, it will exceed your expectations, especially for photography side, where you will get the best of the best for any kind of situation. If you are considering getting a new camera, I will definitely consider the Sony A7C, even in 2021 and 2022. Other than that, I just wanted to mention this, especially the low light situation with the Sony A7 IV compared to the other cameras. I hope this video is useful to you, I hope you like it, and I hope to see you in the next one.